In the ravaged galaxies, pirate fleets roam. Pirates, obviously, being more of a conviction, a calling, come in all different sizes and shapes. The dreaded dwarven ore pirates, spaceships reminiscent of ancient airships. The fanatic blue, imp-sized space booze pirates crusading against any attempted prohibition. The legendary free peoples of Andromeda, known for their outrageous hairdos and taste for grilled space chicken. But most feared, the ones you just don't want to see blip up on your radar screen, are of course Orc Pirates. After the Great War, many civilizations were ground to dust. Survivors struggling to stay afloat and hopefully to get ahead of any other struggling neighbor, like sloths in a sprinter race. The Orcs, already prone to piracy, mischief and general indecent behavior, discovered that the previously discarded thyroid gland of squigs, generally orcs just breed squigs for food, pets that will eat other pets, and sometimes cavalry, could be refined into incredibly efficient thruster fuel. This secret, but crude process, literally the giant leap in space orc travel, propelled the orcs to the technological forefront of most remaining civilizations. Because of the slightly angry, narcissistic and sometimes, let's say, less logical, thought-through orc tribal culture, unification was out of the question. Instead, these squig-propelled orcs spread across the galaxies as master of pirates, bringers of bad news. The orc fleets are in essence self-sufficient. Vast squig breeding ships provide both food and fuel. But the hunger for victories, head-bashing fun, and sometimes a wish for a change of diet, steers the orc fleets through space. There is also a glimpse of common sense involved here. In this ravaging of planets, disruption of trade routes and just random bashing of satellites. At every orc fleet's heart is the mothership, aptly named because this is where the mother lives and rules. The great orc mother, the boss. Not only, like the queen bee, responsible for laying all the little orky eggs eventually hatching into orky babies, she knows to keep her spawn from random internal brawling in the ever-changing aesthetics of orc hierarchy that it's better to keep displays of strength off ship, and preferably done to someone not orc, not of the same tribe anyway. Also, sending her orc children off ship might result in new shiny stuff. And new, shiny stuff is always nice to show off at family gatherings. The greed of mother orcs is a thing of legend, almost up there with the rage displayed when the cook failed to grizzle the squig properly. This little orc project started with me getting into Stargrave, a tabletop skirmish game in a sci-fi setting. A in-game mechanic, the random encounters, means that every now and again there is a chance of random foes appearing on the table, often pirates. Reading this resulted in a spark in my green heart. There was nothing that could ever stop me from making space pirates. Space Orc Pirates. So I went for orc bits from a company called Kromlech. They have a, in some sense, comedic attitude when sculpting orcs, a thing I very much appreciate. These orcs are not the total brutes we so often see, but can sometimes express emotions other than total rage. Kromlech produces a multitude of bits. I picked out anything that to my eye resembles excessive piracy, like shorts. But there is a lot of other stuff as well. The bits themselves, made from resin, require a wash before assembly. Rests of whatever it is they use to get the resin to release from the molds may still be there and can interfere with your paint job if not washed beforehand. I just soaked them in lukewarm water and a bit of washing up liquid, and gave the bits a quick scrub with an old toothbrush. The sculpts themselves vary when it comes to mold lines and that. I have nothing other than my own reasoning to back me up, but maybe some molds are older or just the molding process varies. Some bits requiring hardly any cleanup, whereas others require quite a lot of work. Remember that with resin, you don't really want to breathe in any of the dust that might occur while filing at bits. So a good thing is to wear appropriate protection and have a vacuum cleaner handy. I have two types of orc pirates to assemble, Pirate Trooper and Pirate Shock Trooper. The troopers get more of a, quote, regular, unquote, look. The Shock Troopers, I'm doing full-on steampunk cyborgs. The steampunk vibes here are wonderful. All the weird exhausts and vents and pressure valves and, caterpillar or monowheel steam moped options. I decided for a pretty robust attachment method. I have little faith in superglue. One of the worst things I know while playing a game, when the inevitable but accidental drop of a miniature results in the cracking of superglue and the dismembering of orcs. So I pinned every joint. Pinning is essentially drilling holes in both joints that are to be connected, and then pushing something into that hole that will function as reinforcement together with superglue. I used 1mm metal wire. During assembly, I tried to think of the whole process more as kitbashing, not necessarily sticking to logic, not bothering too much about weapon layout, redesigning bits and using whatever I thought would look cool and would suit the pose created. This obviously something I also tried to vary, the pose. These specific bits are what some would call traditional or classic or retro even. Orcs standing still, holding arms out straight forward. So I did what I could to make them as dynamic as possible. These bits obviously don't have to be bought as full kits like I did. They can be used as complementary kitbash bits or just head swaps or whatever. On the whole, in this dawning age of 3D printers, I do really enjoy this bashing of bits part of the hobby, and I really want to support creation of bits like this. So please do check out Kromlech if you haven't. In the video description, there will be, as long as it's valid, a discount code for their store. Now, while assembling, I decided to go for it and do an Orc bounty hunter. Bounty hunters being the toughest random encounter foes in Stargrave. I dug out some bits from a Putrid Blightkings kit from Games Workshop, finding a perfect chest plate and other armor bits. The fun thing with orcs is that one can just sort of glue on armor-looking bits randomly, and everything just looks right. The bounty hunter got an extra cyborg arm and a pretty menacing head. I'm so looking forward to painting these. Now, after assemblies like this, especially with the added kitbash elements, there are usually gaps that need some attention. I used a 50-50 mix, green putt and milliput, a smooth and workable combination of putties. Now, I'm no sculptor, but getting rid of all those little gaps is well worth it to my eye, and it's good practice just to learn how to handle putties. Oh, and water is your friend here. I'm utterly delighted with my space pirate orcs. I'm sure they will make their big boss mother proud, and the story of Orc Pirates will continue, have no fear. Hopefully bringing more strange stories, and definitely more paint.